Well, boys and girls, it's good to have you sharing with us as well. And I want you to think about something. And first of all, do you know what I have in my hand? Let me hold it up and let you see it. What is it? It's soap. It's liquid soap. And I wonder, how many times has your mum or your dad or somebody else in your family said to you, wash your hands? Before all this time when we have had to stay in the house so much, I'm sure if someone said to you, wash your hands, you'd have been thinking, why? Or maybe it's a case of wash your hands because you're going to have your tea, and that's good to be doing. But over these last few weeks, we're being told more and more to wash our hands, and we're to use soap. And if you watch some of the TV programs very carefully, or some of the advertisements where they're telling you to wash your hands, they tell you to do it really carefully. You're to use soap. You're to make sure that you stand and wash your hands for 20 seconds. And you have to make sure that you wash between your fingers and around your fingernails, and don't forget about your thumbs. And at this moment in time, it's really, really important that you do that, because that's one way that we have of stopping this illness from spreading and making you sick. So it is really important to take time to wash our hands, and to do that regularly. Not just before we eat, not just when we get up in the morning or before we go to bed at night, but we should be doing it regularly and making sure that we don't forget. But I want to think this morning, just for a few minutes, about one of the verses that we read just a few moments ago from Psalm 24. Because it's a reference to clean hands. We should all have clean hands at the minute with the number of times that we're washing our hands. But this is what the psalmist says in verse 4. He basically says, to get to heaven, we need clean hands and a pure heart. Now, that's interesting. But let me tell you, getting into heaven is not just about washing your hands. The Bible here is just using an illustration. We're to have clean hands and a pure heart. And this means that to get to heaven, we need to have our pure heart by asking Jesus to take away our sins. Jesus died for us to take away those sins. But for that to happen, we need to ask him. We need to tell him that we're sorry. And we need to ask him to take over our lives and show us what we're to do. And then the idea of clean hands simply means that we do the right things for God. That we don't do things that are bad or dirty in that sense, but we do good things, clean things. And if we do the right things for God and ask him to forgive us and be our friend, then one day we're going to get to heaven. I want you to think about that. Even the next time you're washing your hands, ask yourself, am I going to get to heaven? Am I doing the right things, and have I asked Jesus into my life today? We're going to listen to another song now, specifically for you as children, and it asks us a question, or it makes a statement rather. Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see. And then it goes through other parts, including little hands, what you do. Let's listen to these words.